Hi there, you're watching the Yoga Bro. My name's Corey, and thank you for practicing with me today. Today I have a quick 20-minute ab sequence planned for us, and it's going to have to be quick because even though the weather may look nice now, it could rain at any moment here in Colorado. So with that being said, let's get started in child's pose. So we'll come onto the knees. Knees are about mat width, big toes clicked together. And then we're going to sink back into the heels as we extend the arms long and drop our forehead to the mat. And we're just going to use this time to slow and deepen the breath. Maybe breathing a little deeper than we have so far today. Trying to even out the inhales and exhales. Trying to let go of any obligations, any events of the day. Spend the next 20 minutes for ourselves and our abs here on the mat. So we're just going to take about 5 or 6 more breaths here, using this time to set an intention or a small goal for our practice. Or maybe today you'd like to dedicate your practice, dedicating the energy that we're going to generate here to someone or something. Maybe someone out there who can't do or practice yoga. Someone who could use this energy a little bit more than we could. Good, and let's release forward here. We'll do a couple of warm-ups just to get those abs ready to work here. So we're going to come on to our forearms, stretching the feet behind us. The elbows are stacked right underneath the shoulders, and the hands are straight away from the elbows. We want to sit tall in the shoulder saddle here, and our gaze is neutral. So looking forward, not cranking the head back or letting the head hang here. We're relaxing the lower back and letting the belly button drip down towards the mat. And we'll just spend 5 breaths here. Now if you'd like, you can even draw your hands and your elbows energetically towards your body. You're not actually moving your hands, but you are shifting the energy towards your body, which will help increase the arch of the spine, bringing your belly button a little closer to the mat. 2 more breaths here. And then release by building a little pillow with your hands or your forearms here, and then resting your left temple there. You can wiggle out those hips, maybe bounce around the pelvis, belly, and chest to reset the spine. And we'll come into a low cobra here, bringing our chin to the mat, hands in by the chest so that our thumbs right underneath our armpits. We're going to keep the elbows hugged into the rib cage as this time we engage the lower back, firing up the muscles of the back and raising just as high as those muscles will take us. So the hands are here, but they're not really taking any weight. They're there to keep our shoulders and our chest opening and our elbows hugging into the ribs. 3 more breaths here as we fire up the lower back. Good, and then we'll release, building the pillow again with our forearms, and this time taking our right temple to our hands. Same thing here, rocking out the hips and pelvis, resetting the spine by bouncing the pelvis and the chest, maybe the abdomen. Good, now we're going to come for high cobra, so bringing our chin back to the mat. Hands, same spot, right in by the chest so the thumbs are underneath the armpits. But this time we're going to walk our hands to the outside of our mat so we can square the elbows here. And we're going to turn the fingertips away from our body. We're going to rise up here, trying to straighten the arms, letting the lower back relax. letting the belly button drip towards the mat. Same principle as our Sphinx pose, the first variation we did. We're going to sit tall in the chest or in the shoulders. The gaze is neutral. 3 more breaths here. Just coming a little deeper into the abs as well as the lower back. Trying to maintain those slow and even breaths throughout the practice. 1 more inhale and exhale. This time our release will be to child's pose, first lowering down and then shifting back. Right where we started, big knees nice and wide on the mat, big toes touching forehead to mat, arms extended. Now our next variation in Cobra is going to be striking Cobra. If you haven't seen this before, you might peek up at your computer or your TV set to see how I do this. It's a dynamic movement in Cobra. So on your inhale, we're going to shift forward, bringing the heels in with us, elbows hug into the rib cage, dropping the pelvis towards the mat as we look skyward, opening the chest. Exhale, pushing back to child's pose. Let's move with the breath here. Inhale, heels in, elbows in, chin up, pelvis down. Exhale, back to child's pose. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Last 2 at your own pace. And last one. And we'll all meet in child's pose. Just a breath here before we come back to all fours. And we're going to make our way onto our back here. Good. So now we're going to find legs up the wall pose. We're going to take our legs straight up at 90 degrees here. Now this is one of my least favorite poses here. It really works those weaker lower abdominals so as the muscles that connect your lower body or your leg to your torso or trunk. Now one little hint I'll have here is if this is really hard for you, you can walk the forearms and hands underneath your lower back and rear. Kind of use that as a wedge to help you hold those legs high. We're pressing the heels towards the sky, pulling the toes back. We're going to take 5 more breaths here. Remembering to focus on the breath here. That's what it's all about. Staying calm. Taking deep inhales and exhales. 2 or 3 more. Last one. And then we're going to release by bending the knees so the shins are parallel to the mat. Release the hands here. And we're going to crunch up here, bringing our hands parallel to the mat as we lift our head and neck, shoulders off the mat, reaching towards the front of the mat. Now on an inhale, we're going to extend the hands overhead, tapping the head and the thumbs to the mat, and then exhaling back to our start position. Now the heels, inhale, tap the heels, exhale, back to start. Keep moving, inhale, sweep the hands, exhale, propels us up. Inhale, heels, exhale, up. Let's do 3 more. Last 2. Moving at your own pace here. Nice and slow. 1 more. And heels. Good. And we're going to release the upper body, release the hands. Keep the legs raised though. We're really firing up heat into that lower body here. We're going to take the hands behind the head, We're going to go for the obliques, or the side abs this time. So we're going to straighten the right leg at a 45-degree angle from the mat. And then we're going to twist and bring our right elbow to left knee. Inhale, back to center, bring the knee back to center. Exhale, opposite side, straightening the left leg, left elbow to right knee. 4 more on each side. Exhaling up, inhale, down. Exhale, left elbow, exhale, inhale, down. Two more each side. And last one. Good, and we'll release, taking a break here in sleeping butterfly, cobbler's pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. This pose has lots of names, but basically we're just pressing the base of our feet together, letting the knees fall wide, and then resting the hands on the upper inner thighs. This is the best pose I can think of to relax the lower back, relax the abdominals, kind of let the blood flow return to normal in all those areas. So 2 more breaths here. Good, and we'll do our next ab exercise here. So we're going to find eagle wraps with the arms and the legs. We're going to wrap the right leg over the left and either hold that foot really close to the shin, or go ahead and go for an additional wrap where you wrap your foot, your right foot, around the shin. Your left foot can stay on the mat. And then take your hands straight up in the air and wrap the right arm underneath the left arm. Keep your elbows pushing away from your chest and your thumbs pushing away from your forehead here. All right, inhale here, flat on our back. Exhale, crunch up, elbows to knees. Inhale down, exhale up. 3 more at your own pace. Now these are basically just crunches, but with the eagle twist, it allows us to make a little space in the shoulders and upper back. 1 more, as well as the hips, outer thighs. Good, and release. Switch sides here. Left foot on top of the right, or left thigh on top of the right thigh. Eagle wrap if you can. Left arm underneath. Elbows away from chest, thumbs away from forehead. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it together. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Last 2. I'm sorry, last 3. Now 2. Last 1. And go ahead and unravel everything. Let's take another break in Supta Baddha Konasana. Knees wide, feet together, hands off to the side. Good, now we'll try boat pose. So go ahead and come up to a comfortable seat, keeping your knees bent. We're gonna clasp the hands, or grab the hands behind the knees here, back of the thighs. Keep your back straight. And then the entry level here is just to bring your legs up off the mat. Find a nice little balance spot between your sits bones and your tailbone, and hold here. Now if you want a little more, you can start to straighten the legs. Oh, that balance becomes a little harder there. Trying to keep the back straight and the chest open. And you can also keep the knees bent and release the hands forward. And you can also try to straighten the legs and release the hands here. On this uneven ground, that sure is a challenge. It's a challenge even on the flat ground. So holding for 3 more breaths. 2, 1. And release back to our backs. That's the hard part done here. Now we're gonna find banana pose, or bananasana as I've heard it called. We're gonna take our heels towards the front left corner of our mat, crossing the right foot over the left. Then we're gonna scoot the hip way to the right side of the mat. And then we're gonna walk our shoulders to the top left corner of our mat. And we're gonna grasp the right hand with the left hand and pull to the side. So we're making our body into a banana shape here. So once again, feet to the front left corner, hands to the back left corner, hip to the right side of the mat. We have our right foot on top of the left, and we're pulling the right hand with the left hand, stretching that whole right side body. Just 3 more breaths. And release, and we're gonna switch sides here. So we'll bring our hips to the left, heels to the right, left foot over right, and then we'll walk the shoulders to the top right of the mat. Extend the arms overhead. Pull that left arm in banana shape here. We'll take about 5 more breaths here. Everybody feels this one a little differently. Some people feel it more in the IT band or hip area. Some people get it in the side body or the intercostals, the space between the ribs. Some people feel it in the shoulder and the arm. Just find the spot you feel it the most. Direct the breath there for 2 more. And 1. And release. Come back to center on your mat. We'll try a couple bridge pose variations and maybe even throw in a full wheel here. So bending your knees, bringing your heels as close into your rear as you can. The very basic version of this is just to lift your hips up off the ground and hold them. If you want a little bit more, you can walk the shoulders towards the center line, hugging the scapula, the wings of the shoulder blades together, and then maybe taking your hands behind you, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms of the hands together. Then you can push against the arms or the hands. Take your pelvis just a little bit higher into the sky. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. And release back down. Untuck the shoulders. And let's knock the knees together. Walk your feet wide on the mat. And just relax here. Good. Now let's re-enter bridge pose here. You can decide to do the same variation we just did, walking the heels in, sending the pelvis up, perhaps walking the shoulders to the middle, the center line, clasping the hands. If you want to take it a step further, walk your heels a little bit closer to your body here. Grab the ankles with your hands and then use that leverage between your hands and your feet to really send the midsection high for 3. 2 more breaths. Last one. And after that last breath, you can release back down. Same thing, knees knocked together, feet nice and wide. We're almost there, everyone. Good. Now, feel free to take any bridge pose variation I've showed you so far. Or if you really want to end on a high note here, bring your feet in together, or bring your feet in towards your rear. Take your hands by your ears this time so your elbows are pointing directly up in the air. Your hands are by your ears, your fingertips are turned back towards your shoulders. And then I get into this by peeling my rear up off the ground And then finding strength in the arms, and pushing up to full wheel. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And releasing to Shavasana. We've made it, everyone. So corpse pose is where we reap the benefits of our practice. This is where we also analyze our body to see how we feel differently now than when we started our class. This is where we absorb energy from the earth below and accept energy from the sky above. We've opened up all these channels of blood flow and energy flow. Now we just have to visualize our batteries recharging. We'll take about 5 more breaths here. Good. We'll start to bring a little movement back to the body by wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe pointing and flexing the feet, opening the hands, making a fist, rolling out the wrists and ankles, even rolling the head back and forth a few times. We'll extend the hands overhead, giving ourselves an early morning style stretch. Stretch everything, the sides of the bodies, crunch up the face. Let it all out in a sigh. And release the left hand to your heart. Keep the right hand above the head. Bend the knees. Turn to your right side in kind of a fetal position here. Using that right arm as a pillow. Left hand can drop to the floor in front of your chest. And then keeping your eyes closed, you can peek if you need to. We're going to push through the left hand, come to a comfortable seat, facing the front of the mat. Hands can rest on the knees. Straight spine, 4 more centering breaths here. Revisiting our intention or that goal we made, or thinking about the person, place, or thing that we dedicated our practice to. And at any rate, visualizing how we're going to use this newfound energy we've generated today. How we're going to use it to not only improve our own day, but the day of everyone we encounter, those that are open and accepting to this type of energy, maybe even a couple who aren't. Okay, and we'll take our hands, and we'll close the practice, close our practice, like sealing an envelope with a simple bow forward to the mat. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.